The history of the Druids is an engaging and complex subject that involves a multitude of historical, mythological, and cultural features throughout several centuries. Among the ancient Celts, the Druids were the priestly class who performed a variety of roles, including priests, judges, educators, and historians. This is an extensive description of their past. During the early Iron Age, in or around 1200 BC, the Indo-European group known as the Celts began to appear in Central Europe. In the end, they migrated throughout most of Europe, from Anatolia to the British Isles. It was within this wider Celtic culture that the Druids emerged. Greek and Roman sources provide for a large portion of our knowledge on the Druids. The best-known account of the Druids can be found in Julius Caesar's Commentari de Bello Gallico, Commentaries on the Gallic War. However, other Greek writers such as Strabo and Diodorus Siculus also wrote about them. Caesar noted the Druids practiced human sacrifice and portrayed them as being obsessed with divine worship, sacrifices, and legal proceedings. Because of their power and involvement in planning resistance to Roman authority, the Druids were seen with distrust as the Roman Empire grew. The Druids were deliberately attacked throughout the Roman campaigns in the British Isles and Gaul, modern-day France. In the 1st century AD, the Roman Emperor Claudius made Druidism illegal. Neo-druidism is a major deviation from the old Druidic practices of the Celts, which began during the Romantic movement of the 18th and 19th centuries. Neo-druidism is a modern reinterpretation and rebirth of the Druids, not a true continuation of their historical practices, although it takes influence from them. An idealization of ancient cultures, such as the Celts and their Druids, resulted from the Romantic movement's love with nature, mysticism, and the past. These characters were frequently portrayed by Romantic intellectuals and writers as noble, wise, and closely connected to nature. Worshipping nature and spirituality are central to neo-druidism. Modern Druids frequently celebrate holidays that go back to the ancient Celtic calendar, such as Samhain, Beltane, Imbolc, and Lughnasadh, in addition to the solstices and equinoxes. This movement welcomes people with a variety of backgrounds and views, and is inclusive and eclectic, combining aspects from many spiritual and philosophical traditions, including as Wicca, paganism, and New Age beliefs. Neo-Druidism has been promoted by a number of organisations, including the British Druid Order, BDO, the Ancient Order of Druids, AOD, and the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids, OBOD. These communities frequently have structured training programs and hierarchies, and modern Druidic activities include group rituals that are usually carried out in woodlands, stone circles, and holy groves. These customs seek to strengthen ties to the natural world, mark the passing of each season, and promote a sense of community. Environmental conservation and sustainability are also highly valued in Neo-Druidism, as many contemporary Druids are actively engaged in ecological lobbying. This movement promotes creativity, poetry, music, and storytelling as ways to communicate with the divine and the natural world. It also encourages individual spiritual growth and research. Neo-Druidism condemns violence and encourages peaceful and spiritual endeavors, in contrast to the ancient Druids, who were a part of a hierarchical tribal society with roles in governance, law, and religious ceremonies that frequently included human sacrifice. In Irish mythology, Druids are highly valued as priest counselors to lords and kings. They have been blessed with various mystical talents, including the ability to forecast the future. One of the most notable examples of these skills is probably Cathbad. According to legends, Jesus came to the West Country approximately 2,000 years ago with Joseph of Arimathea, a tin trader who some people think was Jesus' uncle. According to folklore, Jesus trained under Druids in Glastonbury because there were some parallels between Druidism and Christianity. Fire was the symbol of this almighty god. However, the Druids also honored numerous lesser deities. The Druids believed that the human soul was eternal and that it entered a newborn's body when it died. Druids use magic with an earthy theme. Like clerics, Druids can cast spells, but unlike them, they lack specific abilities against evil. Druids possess special abilities that enable them to shift into different animal forms, as well as to other traits that help them in their natural environments. Druids were most often elves, gnomes, or humans. A figure in mythology, folklore, or fiction who has evil intents and uses nature-based magic for destructive ends is commonly referred to as an evil druid. Druids, in general, are often depicted as wise, nature-oriented figures with deep knowledge of the natural world and magical abilities. The British Prime Minister during World War II, Winston Churchill, was not a Druid in the traditional archaic sense connected to Celtic religious rituals. He was connected to a current Druidic group, though. At a ceremony held at Blenheim Palace in 1908, Churchill received membership as an honorary member of the Ancient Order of Druids, AOD. Elizabeth the late Queen visits the Druids at the National Eisteddfod Fod, or festival, at Mountain Ash, Glamorgan, Wales, on August 6, 1946. Princess Elizabeth, later Queen Elizabeth II, leads an acolyte to Archdruid Crewis Williams, who would initiate her into the mystic circle of bards. Margaret wears a green robe. Occasionally, individuals who have made noteworthy and enduring contributions to Welsh culture are ceremonially welcomed or honoured into druidical mysteries. Again, there is no guarantee that these secrets, which date back hundreds of years after the original Druids prospered, have anything to do with the genuine customs, beliefs, or practices of the ancient people. While not an exact successor of the ancient Druids' religious traditions, the AOD is a fraternal organisation that was established in the late 18th century and finds inspiration in their ideals. This was a community more concerned with camaraderie and support among itself than with the religious and historical functions of the ancient Druids. Rather than actively engaging in Druidic rituals or beliefs, Churchill's involvement was mostly symbolic and honorary, expressing his interest in British history and traditions. These ancient customs are brought back to life by modern Druidism, which transforms them in line with modern environmental and spiritual values. The spirit of the Druids lives on, reminding us of the deep connection that exists between humans and the natural world, whether in historic woodlands or everyday gatherings. I thank you for watching, and I hope the Druids' knowledge keeps you motivated while you go on your life's journey. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest content. Subscribing is completely free and it really helps us out, so you can stay updated with our future videos. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below,